on this program, which is called as the Magical Teacher, which was hosted on the 5th of September in 2020, totally on the digital mode. And this is the second time that we are having the same powerful speaker, who the same person who had motivated us last year with the magical moments as far as how a teacher can create that experience. And this experience, what we are going to get today, and the knowledge sharing from a speaker who has actually been training all the advanced minds all across India, doing so many seminars, so many presentations, and trying to get the best out of every child. So, in this manner, I'm 100% sure that today's speaker, Mr. Satish Valiveti, who hails from Vizag, who has been actually traveling all over India conducting such seminars. Today, we have the privilege of having him once again for our program on Teachers' Day. In fact, to tell you a little bit more about NAVE MARG Foundation, in the last 1 month, we have taken up another very, very important project. That is, we are starting this Living Happily with Diabetes clubs all across Goa. And I'm very, very happy to tell you that total 12 locations have been identified, wherein currently all the people above the age of 30, all citizens above the age of 30 are being tested free of cost for their fasting blood sugar levels. And what we plan to do is, after identifying the diabetic people in that area, like I'll just give an example, we are doing a full-fledged survey in Kankon, we are doing a full-fledged survey in Chimbel, Aldona, Kandolim we have done, Vasco we are doing, Margam we are doing, then this side in Kurcharam. So at various places, we are conducting this fasting blood sugar test. Like today morning, we did at 3 different locations, including in Margam at Carmelite Monastery, wherein fathers themselves gave us a very good support, including like in Kavilosim, we have identified quite a lot of diabetic people. So what we have decided now is all those who are tested and found with above 140 fasting blood sugars, NAVE MARG Foundation has done a tie-up with the various laboratories wherein which will be doing now the HbA1c test for them totally free. And after that, with the series of programs which we are going to start from next Sunday, that is with the diet, yoga, and psychological training, we will show to it that diabetes is a reversible disease. In fact, I will give my own testimonial. In March 2021, I had just, during that COVID time, I had just done my fasting blood sugar as well as my HbA1c test. And I was shocked when I saw that my fasting blood sugar had touched 212 and my HbA1c test had shown 9.2. And it was really a shocking news at that time. And when I realized that maximum people who died due to COVID this year have died not because of COVID, but because they had diabetes in them. And now when you can believe it, that diabetes is reversible, because I have seen it in my own this within the period of 4 months, by just eliminating certain items from my diet, by doing a little bit of exercise and learning a little bit about the chair side Surya Namaskar and trying to do a lot of little small exercises which is done, you won't imagine, within 4 months, I have brought down my sugar levels, that HbA1c test, from 9.2 to 6.2 within 4 months. Even my fasting blood sugar now is back to normal, and automatically I can see that signs of blurry eyesight, frequent urination, all these have reduced dramatically. So we can see that diabetes is definitely, and this is one project which NAVE MARG Foundation has initiated. And this is just for your knowledge, so that you know that we at NAVE MARG Foundation, it's not only investments which we deal in, it's also that the health factors which we're going forward for. So what we believe strongly is health is wealth, and definitely you can even reverse it, that if you don't have a good health, you cannot have enough wealth, or it's not enough only to have wealth if you don't have good health. So you have to be able to combine both. And I must thank God that He has put me in both the professions, on one side on the medical field, on the other side on the financial field. And just before this program, we were in a national conference. In fact, the response that we got by being the champion, by being a winner of Kaun Banega Clientpati, it was a real amazing session just before this session happened. And we could believe that, yes, our clients are believing in what we do. And with our mission to spread financial literacy and get connected with the teachers who are our better ambassadors, it is you all teachers who can actually make a difference to the youngsters in the society. So I want you all to be attentive and try to grab maximum ideas from a well-known trainer, Mr. Satish Valiveti, who is definitely going to teach us something amazing today. So not to waste much of your time, I hand over the stage to Mr. Satish.
All right. So thank you so much, sir. Okay, so friends, good evening, everyone. So three things should happen, friends. One, you must be able to see me clearly. Two, you must be able to hear my voice. And three, the slide I'm showing must be seen. Friends, if all three are happening, please type 3 in the live chat in YouTube. I repeat, friends, three things should happen. One, you must be able to see me clearly. You must be able to hear my voice. And three, the slide should be seen. If all three are happening, please type number 3 in the live chat on YouTube, please. Fantastic. Super. Friends, because I cannot see you, the only way we communicate today is through the YouTube live chat. So please actively participate in the chat, right? I like what Mahatma Gandhi says. He says the future of our country is built within the 4 walls of the classroom. And today it's built within the 4 walls of the screen, isn't it? With the online classes going on. So friends, now today we're going to learn Today we're going to learn the 7 steps to be a passionate teacher, right? So it's heavily raining outside here for me, so we have a little technical glitch. I just want to know if we are both on the same page. Can you see the slides, the 7 steps to be a passionate teacher? If yes, please type yes in the chat, please. Okay, super. All right. So friends, last year for this magical teacher program, I happened to conduct a program called the Magical Teacher Part 1. I'm sure some of you who are watching this session today have come to my session the other day. In case you missed it, friends, it's available on YouTube, so you can check out in the NAVE MARG channel, right? So now, today we're going to talk about one step. We're going to take the next step now. We're going to talk about the Magical Teacher Part 2, where you'll be learning the 7 steps to be a passionate teacher. Now, by the way, who's a magical teacher, friends? You know, the last 21 years now, I've been conducting inspiring seminars and workshops across the country in various schools and colleges. And friends, let me tell you what I found out, friends. I found out that not just in one city, not just in one school or one college, but I found that in a majority of schools, the students are like this. When the school gets over, they take the load. I mean, the bag, they take the load, they come back home, they drop it, they want to go and play. But their parents will hold them and say, come sit and study. So they do the homework. So they do it forcefully, and then they want to go run and play, but then the parents say, go for the tuition or study for the examination. So most of the students I found, they do all this with half-heartedness. And when they sleep at night, they pray, God, somehow give me a holiday tomorrow. And God, being busy, doesn't listen to all the prayers. So the next day morning, the child has no choice. He'll take the load again, and he'll go back to he'll actually drag himself back to school without much interest. This is how in a majority of schools I found a majority of students to be. But let me tell you what surprised me, friends. These 21 years as I kept traveling, I found that in this country, in India, there are certain schools where the students, when the school gets over, they go back with energy. They do the homeworks with interest. They study on their own and they sleep with satisfaction. The next day morning, they jump out of bed, they wait for the clock to tick 8, and they rush back to school. And they, trust me, friends, they love going to schools every single day. Right now, how is this possible? When in a majority of schools, students are not really happy going to schools every day. But in these specific schools I'm talking about, the students are so really happy. And the only day they are unhappy is on a holiday because they miss their school. So now this caught my attention. So I started researching on these schools and I named them the magical schools because I truly found them magical. After enormous research on these schools, I found, friends, that these schools are magical schools only because the teachers in those schools are magical teachers. So And further research, I found that those teachers are nothing special. The magical teachers are not special. Even they're like you and me. They go to schools, they teach science, social, math, and Hindi. But how do they make the students love the school? Because I found, friends, that these magical teachers, they follow 7 steps, 7 strategies. And that's how, whether the student is a merit, average, or below average, doesn't matter. They love the teacher, they love the school, and they come back every single day with enthusiasm. So today in this little session we're going to have, I'm going to take you through the 7 strategies which the magical teachers follow. And if you can follow them, friends, even you can join the ranks of a magical teacher and live with passion. So please grab a book and a pen if you don't have it, and make a note of these 7 strategies. The first one, friends, is called power meditation. Please make a note of it. The first strategy the magical teachers follow to live with passion and to bring the enthusiasm into the class, they follow the first strategy called power meditation. Now, friends, let me ask you some questions. I want you to please chat in the live session, in the live chat in the YouTube, right? So, friends, do you tell me, do you agree that a majority of students, we as a teacher, when we go to a school or a college, when we teach with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, the students, they're supposed to go back home and study on the same day? Please type yes or no, friends. Whatever we teach them on that particular day, they're supposed to go home and study on the same day. Isn't it, friends? But you tell me, give me a frank answer in the chat box. Does majority of students do that? Do they study on the same day? Yes or no? Please type your answers in the chat. No, isn't it? Very good. We know this, friends. We know that after all the efforts we put in for 40-45 minutes in the classroom, the students are supposed to go home and study on the same day, but they don't do that. The majority don't do that, isn't it? So what happens, friends? It fades away. You know what fades away? Not just the subject, our efforts, our hard work, our sweat, everything fades away. Why? Because if they don't study on the same day, as per the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve theory, after a while, they slowly start forgetting it. Agree, friends? So when the year end comes, when the results come after the examination, when they don't score up to the mark, now we blaming them that you did not study well, and they blaming us that you did not teach well. That's not the whole idea here. It's not a blame game we want, isn't it, friends? We want the best results and the best future for our children, for the students. So that is why the known fact is, we as teachers, we know that students do not study on the same day. That is why, friends, these magical teachers, they take 1 step extra. You know what they do? Every day when they go to the classroom, they follow a powerful principle called the power meditation. Now, how do they do this? Let me first explain what power meditation means. Friends, meditation, right? We know meditation. Meditation, in simple terms, meditation means when a person sits or sleeps, closes eyes, relaxes the mind, relaxes the body, now that's called meditation. I repeat, in very simple terms, when a person sits or sleeps, closes eyes, relaxes the mind, and relaxes the body, now we know that's called meditation. We know meditation. We generally do meditation when the class is boring, isn't it? But friends, I'm talking about the second stage of meditation today, and that's called the power meditation. Scientifically speaking, meditation has got stages. The first stage is meditation, then we have power meditation, then deep meditation, alpha meditation, the many stages in meditation. Now, the second stage is called power meditation, and my dear friends, this is a very powerful stage, because in this stage, our concentration will be on the top, on the peak. Now, the question is, how do we go to power meditation? I know meditation. I sit, I close my eyes, I'm doing meditation now. But how do we go to the second stage, power meditation? Very, very simple, friends. All the people watching this session, if you want to experience power meditation, friends, all you have to do is, you have to sit like that, close your eyes, and wait for 40 minutes. If you wait for 40 minutes and if you don't sleep, you'll go to power meditation. Very difficult, right? So friends, we have a shortcut. The shortcut is, look at the slide. So the eyes we have, friends, do you know we look straight? Our eye rays are parallel to earth. Do you know this? We look straight, isn't it? But instead of looking straight, if you look approximately 20 degrees upward, if you just look 20 degrees upward, and then if you close your eyes, it doesn't take 40 minutes, my friends, only 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Just in 3 seconds, you will enter power meditation. Did you understand this? Once you sit normally, if you close your eyes, if you waste 40 minutes, if you don't sleep, you'll go to power meditation, but the shortcut is once you sit, before closing your eyes, if you just look 20 degrees upward, and then if you close your eyes, friends, not just 40 minutes, only in 3 seconds, you'll enter power meditation. Did you understand this, friends? Now, I'm not telling you this. If you have ever been to Nepal, in Nepal, the monks, the Buddhist monks, they live there, and they continuously do research on meditation and concentration. And there they follow a philosophy called the Zen philosophy. This concept I'm talking now is a copy-paste from that philosophy, my friends. Everything I'm going to teach today has a scientific thesis behind it, so you can start applying it. So, how to enter power meditation? Very simple. Once you sit, look 20 degrees upward, close your eyes and take a deep breath. In 3 seconds, you'll enter power meditation. Clear so far? Type clear in the chat box, please. Isn't it? Now, why am I talking about power meditation? Let me tell you the power of power meditation first. Friends, let's say I'm a student. Today I read, let's say, 4 topics, 4 questions. Okay, I read 4 topics. I went to my mom and said, Mom, ask me these topics. So she asked me, I answered pretty well. So my mom said, good job. I said, Mom, ask me again. So again she asked me, again I answered pretty well. She said, good job. I said, Mom, ask me again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Imagine this, friends. If I answer my mom each question 66 times, she'll slap me, that's different. But if I really answer each question 66 times, my friend, the kind of confidence I get. Just really imagine this. If I really answer 66 times, the kind of confidence I get, the kind of remembrance I get, I don't have to do all that just one time, friends. Only one time. If I revise in for meditation, revise once, that one time is equal to 66 times of normal revision. Did you understand this, friends? I repeat again. Once we learn something, if we sit and write the topics 66 times without seeing, or if you answer them to someone 66 times, the kind of confidence we get, we don't have to do all that. Just one time. If you enter power meditation and revise in power meditation, that one time revision in power meditation is equal to 66 times of normal revision, friends. Do you know this? Make a note of it. All right. This is the power of power meditation. So let me tell you how the magical teachers are using this power meditation. As I mentioned earlier, the magical teachers, they know that students do not study on the same day. So you know what these teachers do, friends? Every day when they go to the classroom, this is exactly what I want you to do to help the merit average and below average students excellently well. If you want to do that as a teacher, every day when you go to the classroom, friends, generally how much time is your class? 45 minutes. Let's say 45 minutes. Let's assume from this year onwards, whether it's an online class or an offline class, doesn't matter. From this year, let's imagine that your class is only 43 minutes, not 45. It doesn't mean you can stop the class 2 minutes earlier. What I mean is, the magical teachers, what they do, they assume it was only 43 minutes. So the 2 minutes left out, the first 1 minute and the last 1 minute of the class, they dedicate it to power meditation. So you know what these teachers do? Once they enter the class, either it's a live class or an online class, once they start the class, the first 1 minute, they make all the students enter power meditation. And they make them revise whatever they taught them yesterday. Am I making sense? Looks like very, very simple, practically easy activity, but it has a huge impact in the minds of students, because even though they did not study at home, you're making that revision, that too in power meditation, the first thing before the class starts. Making sense, friends? Right. So what you do is you make them enter power meditation and you'll revise whatever you taught them yesterday in power meditation in the first 1 minute. Then 43 minutes you teach powerfully, and the last 1 minute before the class gets over, the last 1 minute, you know what the magical teachers do? They make the students enter power meditation again, and whatever is taught today in the 43 minutes just now, whatever you finish teaching them, you again make them revise in power meditation, and then you leave the class. It looks like simple 2 minutes, but trust me, friends, it's got a huge impact in the minds of the students, because you have drilled the information through power meditation. Did you understand so far? Type yes in the chat box, please. Good. So friends, very simple. I repeat one more time. All you've got to do is the first strategy. walk into the classroom, or when you start the online class, the first 1 minute, please make sure you make them enter power meditation and revise what's taught yesterday. And the last 1 minute, make them do power meditation and revise what's taught today. Trust me, friends, if you can do this one strategy, forget the remaining 6. This one strategy, if you can start applying it from this year onwards, and by the year end, if the results do not get better for your students, I'll cut my ear for you. This year, I promise some other school, I cut this ear for you. Working out, right? So friends, so that's the first strategy, power meditation. And there's one last thing I want to talk about this before we go to the second strategy. Remember, my dear teachers, when you make them do power meditation, do not ask them direct questions. What do I mean? Let's say, I'll give an example. I walk into the classroom, I make them enter power meditation, and let's say, for example, I want to do it right now, okay? So I want you to keep typing your answers quickly. I want every teacher to participate, please. Actively participate, type your answers in the chat box, okay? Imagine right now you close your eyes and you're doing power meditation, okay? Imagine that, and type your answers. Friends, the magical schools, the magical teachers, how many strategies do they follow? Please type your answers quickly in the chat box. How many strategies do they follow? And this 7, right? Good. And now, out of 7 strategies, the first strategy is called what? Power meditation. So if I'm a teacher, I'll make them enter power meditation. Let's say you are the students. I'll make you enter power meditation, and I'll ask you the first question, how many strategies are there? You'll say 7. And then I'll ask you, what is the first strategy? You'll say power meditation. And then I'll ask you, if you revise 1 time in power meditation, how many times is it equal to? And you'll answer 66 times. Am I making sense? So which means I, as a teacher, I'll be speaking throughout the time in the power meditation, and you keep answering like fill in the blanks. Did you understand? I shouldn't say explain power meditation. No, that's a direct question. If I ask the students explain power meditation, 2, 3 will start answering, the remaining will sleep off. No. So the most of the time you keep asking questions like you keep talking the whole time and like fill in the blanks, let them shout the answers in power meditation. Did you understand, my friends? Please type yes in the chat box, please. Very, very easy, practically usable. I see a lot of teachers who learned this strategy using it, and they can actually make a good progress with their students. So please try this starting tomorrow, either it's online or offline class. Now let's move to the second strategy, friends, and that's called aids. I mean, not these aids, I mean the practical aids. Okay, so friends, actually speaking, I know most of the people watching this session, the teachers watching this, I know you are experienced teachers, you've got good expertise. I don't actually have to tell you this point. You know it already. But the reason I mention it here as second strategy is because this strategy, friends, all the magical teachers, they extensively use this. You know, unfortunately, even to this day, in a majority of schools in this country, a majority of teachers don't understand the VAK concept. The VAK, right, friends? You know, when the child is born, I'm sure some of the teachers watching this know this. When the child is born, friends, do you know that the first 5 years, your 5 senses develop? Do you know this? Once we are born, so sweet, small, cute, and tender, from that age, for the first 5 years, friends, our 5 senses develop. That is why if you have seen small kids, the crawling kids, you know, you give them anything. Anything you give them, they keep it in the mouth. Have you seen that? Anything. You give them anything, even if you give them a phone, anything, they keep it in the mouth. It's not that they eat it, you know, but why they keep it in the mouth? Because they develop the sense of the tongue. Anything you give it, they throw it down. It's not, you know, they actually listen to the sound of it. You know what parents do? They catch it. No, let it fall, let they hear the sound, okay? So like that, friends, these cute little kids, the first 5 years, with their small teeny mini activities, they develop their 5 senses. And do you know this, friends? Depending on how the 5 senses develop, every child, by the time the child comes to age 5, his learning capacity changes for life. Do you know this? By the time the child comes to age 5, the children will become either a V learner or an A learner or a K learner, where V learner stands for visual learners. As the name suggests, they are more interested to learn through visuals. Suppose if I'm a teacher, if I keep talking the whole 45 minutes, or the 43 minutes, the child is not interested to listen. But if you show some slide like this, if you just show a chart, show some visual, wow, they want to learn like that. Some of them are visual learners. The second category of students, some students become auditory in nature. As the name suggests, they're more audio based. But the auditory children, you know, visuals really doesn't really much matter. But when the teacher speaks, the voice modulation, the sentence formation, if they are attractive, wow, the auditory children learn fast. The third category, the kinesthetic category, is the most neglected category in India, unfortunately. Do you know, friends, the third category, the kinesthetic students, now these children, visuals don't appeal them, audio doesn't really appeal them much. They want to learn by touching, moving, feeling, and sensing. That's how they want to learn it, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a science teacher, and today my topic is, let's say, plants. If I draw a picture of plants on the board and start explaining, because it's a picture, visual children will start learning fast. If I explain powerfully, auditory will learn. But the kinesthetic are not interested in both of them. So you know what they do? They start talking to each other, they keep moving places, and many teachers think they're mischievous. No, they may be kinesthetic. But as a teacher, let's say if I take a plant, if I really take a plant to the classroom, and they give it to the students, and they pass among them, and this kinesthetic students, they touch the leaves and roots, and wow, they learn so fast. Am I making sense? Those are the kinesthetic people. They want to learn by touching, moving, sensing, or feeling. So that is why the magical teachers, they use a lot of practical aids, my friends. I understand you cannot use a practical aid for everything. For example, let's say today my topic is dinosaur. How do you expect me to take a practical aid? If it's a binoculars, I can take one. Agree? So friends, wherever practically possible, I strongly recommend all the teachers watching this session, please use a lot of practical aids, because the kinesthetic students are waiting for you in the classroom. This is my humble request. This is a small activity. I want every teacher to do this. Take out your textbook. Whatever subject you teach, take out your textbook, and if not for all the chapters, at least for the most important chapters, please read the chapter, and for each paragraph, when you read it, ask yourself, when I teach about this particular this concept, can I use a practical aid? Please ask yourself. If you get an idea, take a sketch pen and write it next to that paragraph. Friends, this you have to do it only once, because the textbook will not change next year. Please write down, plant your ideas near the paragraphs of what practical aids to use. And when you teach that particular topic, please carry them. You know, the magical teachers, when they come to schools, they don't just carry their handbag, they bring buckets and whatnot, because they know the kinesthetic want to learn through touching, moving, feeling, and sensing. Right? So that's second strategy. My dear teachers, the 43 minutes as you teach powerfully, also make sure you add some practical aids while you teach. Make sense? Please type yes in the chat box, please. Now let's move on to strategy number 3. Grasp like a magnet. Make a note of it. Strategy 3, friends, of the magical teachers is grasp like a magnet. Friends, do you know that the general philosophy says that when a teacher teaches a lesson, either through online or offline, doesn't matter. When a teacher teaches a lesson, the subject goes like iron. It goes like iron. And the students watching the session also receive the subject like iron. Do you know this? I repeat, no matter who the teacher is, no matter what subject they teach, the subject keeps going like iron, and students watching the session also receive the subject like iron. That's a general philosophy. Now, my question to all the teachers watching this session, please type your answers in the chat box. Imagine among the students watching your session, if one particular student is a magnet, then who will grasp the subject faster? Type your answers, please. If among all the students watching your class, if one particular student is a magnet, then who will grasp your subject faster? Obviously a magnet, isn't it? Why? Because the subject is iron, he's a magnet, he'll grasp it faster. Agree? Friends, I want all your students, not just one student, I want all your students in your classroom to become magnets. And let me tell you the good news here, friends. It takes only 30 seconds, 30. It just takes only 30 seconds to make them magnets. Do you know this? How do you do that? Very simple. Once you go to class, listen carefully. The first 1 minute, you make them to power meditation, make the device SDS lesson. 43 minutes, powerful teaching, preferably with practical aids. Last 1 minute, again power meditation, revise what's taught today. Agree? So once the class gets over, before you walk out of the class, please make sure you do this small thing. What you do is, let's say for example, you are a social teacher. And let's say for example, tomorrow when you come back to the same class, you're going to teach them a topic called Let's say social, let's say cyclones. Okay, example. So tomorrow when you come back to the same class, you're going to teach them a topic called cyclones. So what you do is, before leaving the class, you'll tell, my dear students, you got to write on the board. Okay, write on the board, my dear students, tomorrow I'll be teaching you about cyclones, and in cyclones I'll be teaching you about rainfall and climatic conditions. Write it there and then leave. Tell me frankly, friends, how difficult is it? Just write 3 words: cyclones, rainfall, and climatic conditions. To just write that, how much time it takes? Hardly 30 seconds. But trust me, friends, if you can do this small thing before you leave, if you can just mention on the board what you're going to teach them tomorrow and then leave, that small act, you know what it does? It makes all the students into magnets. How? Let me give an example. Let's take 2 examples, a dull student and a brilliant student. Okay, let's say, for example, we'll take 2 students. One is a dull student, one is a brilliant student. They both saw what you wrote on the board there, cyclones and rainfall and all that. Okay, the brilliant student, because he is clever enough, he understood. Okay, he understood, okay, so tomorrow when the teacher comes, she's going to talk about cyclones and rainfall and tsunami and hudhud. So he understood a part of it. Now the dull student didn't understand. He looked at the word cyclone, but he didn't understand. He thought maybe cyclone means giving loans for cycles and loans. That's what he thought. Okay, cyclones is cycles and loans. Now here's the beauty, friends. One fellow understood, one fellow did not understand properly. But the good news, whether you understand, you don't understand, both of them will become magnets. That's the beauty. I'll tell you why. Because the next day, when you come back to class, when you start talking about cyclones, you know what happens? These both students, their brains will start comparing. You cannot stop it. It's a natural phenomenon. Yesterday, when you wrote on the board, they understood something, right? That's called brain impressions. When they look at it, they create some brain impressions. One fellow created the right impression, one fellow created the wrong impression of cycles and loans. Whether right or wrong, they create some impression. That's what happens. So next day when you're teaching, their brains start comparing with the impression they created. And do you know, friends, in that comparison, the student will experience 92% concentration. Do you know this? Do you know, friends, as per recent statistics, even for a brilliant student, a state ranker, all India ranker kind of student, the average concentration for 45 minutes classroom is only 76. Do you know this? The average concentration is only 76. Why? See, we are not robots here, okay? We are just human beings. We can't work like that laptop all through the time. So even for the brilliant student, what happens is a pen may fall down. Somebody may talk in between. A beautiful girl may walk by. So for whatever reason, he'll only have 76% concentration. But for a student who is a magnet, who is in comparison, he'll experience 92% concentration. Now let's see what happens, friends. The teacher comes and she starts explaining about cyclones and rainfall and floods and tsunami. You know what the brilliant boy's brain thinks? The brilliant boy's brain thinks, yes, see, that's what I thought yesterday. That's what she's teaching now. So he'll pay more attention. And the dull boy's brain thinks, okay, so cyclones means not cycles and loans. Cyclones means floods. So he corrects and pays attention. Understand, friends, the heart feels bad, not the brain. The brain corrects and pays more attention. So which means whether you understand, whether you don't understand, whether the child understands or not, when write on the board, brain impressions are created. Next day, the students will be in comparison. They'll experience high concentration. And all it takes is just 30 seconds. Write on the board and leave. Write on the board and leave, okay? Don't tell them. So, for example, the class got over. You went out of the classroom and then remembered and you said, okay, students, tomorrow cyclone. No, you got to write on the board and then leave. Can you do this? Good. So let's move to strategy number 4 now, friends. The 4th strategy is called involve. Make a note of it. Strategy 4 is involve. I like what Benjamin Franklin says. He says, tell me and I forget. Teach me, I may remember. But if you involve me, I will learn. Isn't it, my friends? I repeat again. He says, if you tell me something, I may forget. If you teach me something, I may remember. But if you involve me, I will learn from it. And that's what the magical teachers believe in. So the 4th strategy, what they do is they make sure that the 43 minutes when they teach powerfully, they involve their children in as many ways as possible. I'm sure you know some of the easy ways. For example, quiz is the all-time game that helps children to involve as much as possible and learn. It can be collages, it can be skits, videos, charts. It's up to you, friends. You know, skits, for example, I still remember to this day the Macbeth drama I did in class 8. Even to this day, I remember. Why? Because when you make a skit, you know what happens? The children who participate, the children who watch will remember for a lifetime. Agree? It's not just about the examination. They remember for a very long time, because that's the power of skits. You can use videos, charts. Basic idea, friends, is please make sure it's not just a political speech. Make sure you involve your children in as many ways as possible and do the session. Let's do a small activity now. I want every teacher watching this to participate, friends. Grab a book and a pen if you don't have it. A very small activity, genuinely participate. On the screen now, I'm going to show you a question paper, right? And in that question paper, you'll have section A some questions and section B some questions. Please read the question paper and write the answers, and you'll have 120 seconds. 2 minutes time to finish this question paper. Please genuinely participate, though I cannot see you. Let's if you participate, you'll learn better. Okay? So please genuinely participate. Grab a book and a pen. I'll show you a question paper. Read it and write the answers. 120 seconds is what you have. But before I show you the question paper, I want to share something with you here. You know, a few years back, friends, I was doing the same program, the Magical Teacher Part 2. I was doing this program in a school in Bangalore. And this one teacher, her name is Mrs. Anusha. She's a physics teacher, and she finished this paper in just 28 seconds. You have 120 seconds time, friends, but that lady, she finished it in just 28 seconds. And I have never seen anybody else performing at that speed. Today, let's see if any of you can break that record, right? So grab a book and a pen, and here goes the question paper. Read it and write the answers. Don't write the questions, just write the answers. Okay, stop. Please stop writing. Everyone, please stop writing. Please, everyone, look at the slide and reads. Okay, section B. Everyone, look at the slide. Section B, question 4. Read it loud, please. Everyone, please read it loud. Section B, question 4. Do not answer section A, isn't it? Then why did you answer, my friends? I'm sure some of you who genuinely participated, I'm sure you started with section A, isn't it? Genuinely type your answers in the chat box. If you started with section A, if you started answering section A, type A in the chat box, please. Please do it genuinely. Now, friends, so the section B clearly says do not answer section A. Then why did you do this? Friends, this activity, okay, thank you for being so genuine. Okay, friends, this activity is to tell you just one single point, that whenever, starting today, whenever you go for an examination, first read the entire question paper and then start answering it. And by the way, that's what Mrs. Anusha, that fantastic lady, has done. She read the question paper, understood section A need not be answered, so only section B, she finished in 28 seconds. She deserves a clap, isn't it? So friends, actually, now listen now. Friends, actually, I want to just make one statement. I want to just tell you that, my dear friends, when you go for an examination, first read the question paper, then start answering it. But if I just say that, it becomes only a statement. But what I did now is I involved you. Do you understand the power of involving, friends? I'm sure not just today, but very, very long time, you will not forget this point. Agree? Because that's the power of involving, friends. So please make sure that when you teach, like the magical teachers do, involve your children in as many aspects as possible. Right? So that's strategy 4. So 4 done so far out of 7. 1, power meditation. 2, practical aids. 3, grasp like a magnet. And 4, involve them. Now let's go to the 5th one, my favorite one. Please make note of it. The 5th strategy of magical teachers is creativity. Make note of it. Strategy 5 is creativity. Friends, last time when I did magical teacher part 1, I made you do an activity. If you haven't come to that session. You can check in the YouTube later. Today we'll do one more activity. I'll show you practically how magical teachers use creativity to make children's life easier. Now, friends, do you agree one fact? Type your answers in the chat box, please. Do you agree that our children are very creative? The good news, friends, is everybody is creative. Do you agree, friends? Our children, the next generation kids, are very, very creative. Do you also agree that our children, the next generation kids, our students, are faster than us? They're more creative, they're more intelligent than us. Agree, friends? And for such intelligent, fast, creative generation, you are the inspiration. Do you know that? That's what we are, friends. As a teacher, you are the inspiration for the next generation. And if you want to maintain that, you got to match their pace. And that's why the magical teachers, they use their creativity to make their subjects far more interesting and easy than you can imagine. Let me practically show you now how the magical teachers use their creativity to make subjects interesting. Now, today we'll learn one specific strategy called the journey. Make a note of it, friends. This is called the journey. Friends, do you agree this? I want your answers in the chat box, please. Do you agree that there are some subjects where there are some topics, there's so many points the children has to remember? Do you agree, friends? There are some topics as the children go to high school, especially. There are some topics or some lessons where there are so many points the child has to remember in order to present better in the examination. The long answers, essay type, so many points, remember. Do you agree such scenarios exist? Isn't it? So we as teachers, we teach brilliantly well. Even the students study at home, but just give me a frank answer. Let's say there's one particular topic with 15 points, 15 points the child has to remember. You taught well, the student read well, but when they go to the examination, do they remember all the 15 points? Please type your answers in the chat box, please. Genuine answers, please. When the children go to the examination, a majority of children, do they find it easy to remember all the 15 points? Do they? No, isn't it? And this is a genuine problem, friends. A majority of children, they find it difficult to remember what they learn, and in the examination, they find it difficult to present it because they forgot some of the points. And the funny part, friends, some students tell me this: sir, I forgot in the exam hall, but when the exam got over, when I go out of the exam hall, I remember the answers again, right? So, but there's a concept. The magical teachers, they follow a concept called the journey. Very powerful concept. If we can use this concept, friends, trust me, not just 15 points. Even if there are 150 points, the child can remember every point like this. Like how? Like this. Okay. So that concept is called the journey. Let's do it practically. We'll take a long topic now. Right now, we'll do it in this session practically. We'll take a very long topic. We'll take some 15 points. I'll show you right now the power of journey, how the magical teachers use it, how they use the creativity and make the students' life far more easier than you can imagine, right? So what we'll do is we'll take some concept, because all the teachers participating are from different classes. So I don't know what subjects you teach. So we'll take a general topic. Now, the topic is not so important here. How we make them remember the concept of journey is more important to understand. Let's take this concept of, let's say, in India. Let's talk about general topic India. Friends, you tell me, in India, do we have overpopulation? Type your answers, yes or no, friends. Isn't it? We have a huge population. And do we have disadvantages because of overpopulation? Of course, yes. So we'll take that topic, okay? So the question is, what are the disadvantages of overpopulation? We'll take some 15 points, and right now in this session I'll show you within a short time how we can make the child's life easy to remember such long topics. So let's do it practically, friends. Okay, so I want you to genuinely participate along with me. So I want you to type your answers in the chat box. Give me some disadvantages, friends. What are the disadvantages of overpopulation? So give me some points in the chat. Anyone can type. What are the disadvantages of overpopulation? Can you please type your answers? Okay, good. Unemployment, so jobs, definitely yes, I strongly agree. Lack of jobs. The next one, shortage of food. Absolutely right. Food shortage is another major problem. Please keep typing your answers, friends. What else? Overpopulation disadvantages. So lack of jobs, food shortage. What else? Deforestation. Trees are getting cut. Correct. Okay. What else? Please type your answers. My dear teachers, I want you to actively participate, please. Please keep typing your answers. Deforestation. Okay, one more problem is definitely money. All the poverty and all the other problems. So we have money problems because of our population. And right, housing, correct. Land shortage. You're right, sir. Land shortage. Okay, shelter shortage, correct. Okay, environmental resources, correct. Natural resources, all the gold, coal, diamonds are being dug, so natural resources are getting extinct. Very, very right. Okay. Financial problems is covered. Money problems, yes. Pollution, good point again. Huge pollution because of our population, right? What else? Okay, inflation is money-related problem. Water, correct. Water shortage, water crisis. Well said. What else, friends? Pollution, higher medical requirement if any diseases, but diseases, you're right. Diseases spread and we have problem with that, you're right. And let's say one more problem is fuel shortage, correct. Fuel shortage, correct. And what else? Power shortage, you're right. Power shortage, okay. And crime has drastically, crime rate increases because of our population, agree with you. Okay, natural resources limitation is done already. What else, friends? What else? Okay, traffic jams, right? Because of our population, especially in metropolitan cities, there's huge traffic jams happening. Okay, what else? Any other points, friends? Our population disadvantages. Okay, cell phone radiation is increasing, right? Because you start using it. Cell phone radiation has increased drastically. One last point. Anyone? Let's say the okay, heat, like global warming, you're right. So because of our population, there's global warming. Thank you so much, friends. Please clap for yourself for giving me the points. Let's say we'll take this as an example, friends. Okay, look at the slide. So these are the 15 points we want to remember. Okay, now let's say these 15 are the side headings. Okay, the side headings of the answer. Now let me tell you something. Do you know the power of Indian student? The power of an Indian student is when the Indian student goes to the exam hall, if he or she remembers a side heading, they know how to fill the paper, isn't it? We know that. Suppose, for example, if we remember pollution, then we roll our sleeves and start writing because of more bus, more roads, more trams, more factories, more smoke, isn't it? So if you remember the side heading, we know our children know how to fill the paper. Agree? But the question here is, do they remember all the 15 side headings? That's a concern. They don't, right? So how do we make them remember such huge list of 15, 20 points? The method is called journey. So friends, please stop writing now. Let me show you the method of journey first. Listen carefully, friends. You must learn how to create a journey. We can create a journey anywhere. Even in this room, right now, the room I'm sitting right now, even in this room I'm sitting, we can create a journey here. But because you can't see the whole room, we'll take a journey which we commonly know, friends. Okay, we'll take a journey which we both commonly know. For example, I'm sure we all have this experience of going and watching a movie in a theater. Agree? Today it's Corona, but before that we all have this experience of going at least once in a while. We go to a cinema hall and we watch a movie. Agree, friends? So we'll take that experience as a journey. Let me show you how we do this. Look at the slides now. So friends, the first thing what happens is when we think of that as a journey, first thing what we do is we go to the parking area. Imagine we're taking the journey now. The theme is going to a cinema hall. You know how it starts? The first step, we'll go to the parking area, right? We go to the parking area, we park our car there. I want everyone to listen closely, friends. Don't write anything, just listen. We go to the parking area and park our car. From there, what we do, we go and to the ticket counter, we buy the ticket. Okay, let's go with the flow. Don't tell me I buy online tickets and all that. Just let's go with the flow. So you park your car, you go to the ticket counter, you buy the ticket. From there, where do we go? We go to the entrance of the entrance door, right? We go to the entrance door, and once we open the entrance door, what do we see? We see the chairs, right? We see the chairs. Now, once we sit in the chairs, what do we see there? The empty screen. Agree? So once we sit in the chair, we see the empty screen there. And what's the first thing we see once the movie starts? We see the no smoking ad, right? See that smoking ad? Okay, no smoke, Mr. Mukesh there, no smoking ad. After that, the movie starts and we'll see majorly 4 characters. We'll see the hero, and then we'll see the heroine, and then we'll see the villain, and the comedian, right? Hero, heroine, villain, and the comedian. Agree? So once it's done, let's say we'll have the interval. Interval. So when we have the interval, we'll generally what we do is we go out and we buy two things. One, we buy the popcorn, and we buy the Coke, right? So in the interval, we bought the popcorn and we bought the Coke. And then we go inside and we keep watching the movie, and then the next important thing in the movie is the climax. After the climax got over, we went back home. Simple journey, right? We went back home. I'm sure I just mentioned this only once to you. I know everyone watching this session, you remember the whole journey now. Let's do a quick recap. First, where did you go, friends? Please type your answers in the chat box, please. I want everyone to be quick on your typing. First one, where did we go? The parking area. Exactly. The parking area, where did we go next? The ticket counter. Very good. The ticket counter, friends, after that, where did we go after buying ticket? The entrance door, right? Once we opened the door, what did we see there? The chairs. And then once we sat, what did we see there? The screen. And what did we see first? Once the movie started, we saw this no smoking ad, right? And then we saw four characters: hero, the heroine, the villain, and the comedian, correct? And then we had the interval, and we bought the popcorn and the Coke, correct? After drinking Coke and popcorn, we came back, and what we see next is the climax. And then finally, where did we go? We went back home. Friends, give me a frank answer. Remembering this simple journey, is it difficult or easy? Please type your genuine answers in the chat, please. Remembering this simple journey from the parking area to home, is this easy or difficult? Pretty easy, right? I understand, friends. I agree with you. Remembering the answers may be difficult. I agree with you. But remembering such simple journey, anybody can remember. Agree, friends? Trust me, if we can create such simple journey, the answers like this, the answers we created, we can remember them very, very quickly. Let me show you how we do this. For example, friends, if you look at the journey, the first one in the journey is we start with the parking area, correct? The parking area, but here the first one we have is jobs. Imagine this. I want every teacher to really imagine this. You went to the parking area, and you know what happened? It's filled. The whole parking area is totally filled with resumes. You know, that day there's some job mela happening in the cinema hall next the next building. So the entire parking lot is filled with resumes. Can you see that? The papers, bundles of resumes, it's filled in that. You can't park your car because imagine the parking area filled with resumes. Can you see that? All the people wearing ties, they're ready. They're standing in a big queue there. They're about to go to the job. Can you see that, friends? So parking area is filled with what? People getting ready to get the jobs. Agree? Good. The next one in our journey is the ticket counter. Correct? And here we have the food. Imagine this. Really imagine this. When you went to the ticket counter, imagine there's a big samosa sitting in the ticket counter and giving you a ticket. Really imagine this. There's no person there. There's a big samosa or a pizza, whatever is your favorite food. Imagine a big pizza or a samosa sitting there. It's issuing tickets to you. Can you see that? So who's giving you the ticket? Food, right? Good. From there, ticket counter, we went to the entrance door, right? And here, friends, in the entrance door, we have the deforestation. Imagine this. Imagine as we were passing to the entrance door, we saw three people. They were tied, okay? To the entrance door, there are people who are tied their hands and legs, and they fall and they on the floor there. We asked them who are they. They said they tried to cut the trees, so they gave punishment and dropped them there. Can you see that? Really imagine as you're walking in, you saw people there falling and they have axes in their hands and legs tied. Why are they given a punishment there? Because they are doing deforestation. Can you see that? Good. And after the entrance door, we went and sat in the chairs, right? Chairs. And here we have money. Imagine, friends. Imagine the chair you're about to sit is filled with 2,000 bundles. Can you see that? Really imagine you went and you're about to sit in the chair. You saw the entire chair. The place is filled with 2,000 bundles. Money, everywhere money. All the chairs are filled with money, 2,000 bundles. Can you see that? Really imagine in your mind. All the chairs are filled with 2,000 bundles notes there. Good. After chairs, we sat there. We saw the screen, right? Empty screen. And here we have land. In India, land became so scarce that even on empty screens, people started applying mud and started growing crops there. Really imagine the empty screen. From the empty screen, imagine crops coming out. It became green color. Imagine crops coming out of the empty screen. Can you see that? Really imagine this in your mind, friends. Crops, small Lilliput farmers are cultivating there and crops coming out of the empty screen. Good. After empty screen, we have the smoking ad here. And here we have natural resources. Okay, really imagine this. Mr. Mukesh there smoking. Now that fellow, surprisingly, from the screen, he kept his hand out and he gave you gold biscuits and diamonds. Can you see that? Really imagine you're watching the show. Mr. Mukesh in the smoking ad, that fellow there, he kept his hand outside the screen. He took his hand out and he gifted you gold biscuits and diamonds. Really imagine he giving them to you. So what did he give you? Natural resources. Good. And then we have the hero here, right? Hero. And here we have pollution. Imagine, friends, really imagine the hero you see there. Imagine for a second, with all due respect to him, but imagine on his head there's a chimney and black smoke coming out of it. Can you see that? Really imagine that hero there. On his head there's a chimney here and the black smoke coming out of it. Can you see that? So wherever the hero goes, there's pollution going everywhere. Can you see that? Good. And the next one is the heroine we have here. Heroine. And here we have water. Right? Okay. Imagine the heroine. She comes on the screen and she carries a bucket of water and she splashes it on you. Really imagine you're in the front row and she takes a bucket from the screen. She splashes water on your face. Can you see that? Really imagine the heroine coming and splashing water on your face. Good. After heroine, we have the villain. And here we have diseases. Imagine, friends. Okay. Imagine the villain there. The villain is having corona. So instead of imagining villain's face there, imagine, you know how the corona looks like, right? The coronavirus, you know how it looks like. So at the villain's neck, above villain's neck, instead of the face, imagine the coronavirus there. Can you see that? Imagine that villain there, Prakash Raj. Imagine on his head this is coronavirus. Good. After villain, we have the comedian here, and here we have fuel, right? Friends, do you know the comedian there, the picture? His name is Brahmanandam. Okay, he acts in Telugu movies. He's Brahmanandam. Or you can imagine any comedian you know. Okay, imagine any other comedian you know from movies. And imagine from today onwards, whenever you go with your car or with your bike, you go to fill fuel. Really imagine that comedian filling fuel for you there. In the petrol pump where you go, really imagine that comedian coming and filling the fuel for you in your car and bike. Can you see that? So here, who's filling fuel for you? The comedian. After that, we have the interval. Interval, and here the word we have is power. Imagine, friends. Really imagine this in the interval. Okay. So I don't know how many of you know this, but in Telugu there's an actor called Pawan Kalyan. You know him? We call him Power Star. Okay. I don't know if you know him, friends. But when I say power, let's think of Power Star for a second. And Power Star here is Pawan Kalyan. So really imagine in the interval, Pawan Kalyan came in, he took your hand and he took you out. Can you see that? Or you can imagine when you think of power, or you can imagine any other power star from your local heroes. Okay, really imagine the power star coming, holding your hand and taking you out for the interval. Can you see that? Good. After that, we have the popcorn here, popcorn, and here we have crime. Crime. Imagine, friends, the popcorn is filled with blood. Really imagine all the popcorns there, small popcorns. One popcorn is having a knife, the other popcorn is having a gun. They're shooting each other, they're fighting, and they're creating crime. Can you see that? Really imagine the popcorns fighting with each other, crime happening there, and blood flowing out of the popcorn can. Can you see that? Right? So popcorn, what are they doing? Crime. Imagine one popcorn having hands and legs holding a sword, the other popcorn having a gun and shooting each other. Can you see that? Good. So what's the popcorn doing? Doing crime. And then next we have the Coke here, and here we have traffic jam. Imagine, friends, really imagine the road. Okay, imagine a road and there's a big, in the middle, in the like the fourth junction there, imagine a big Coke tin, a huge Coke tin there, and because of the huge Coke tin is so big, it stopped all the vehicles. And so imagine in your city, in a famous fourth junction place, there's a big Coke, because of which all the traffic got jammed there. Can you see that? Really imagine you're among the traffic, so there's a huge Coke tin in front of you, and because of the whole traffic got jammed. I can also hear the honks of the horns of the buses and cars. Good. And then we have the climax here, and here we have cell phone. Imagine, friends, in the climax, okay, in the climax, suddenly, instead of fighting with each other, okay, generally climax, the hero and the villain fights, right? But this is a special movie. When they're about to fight, each of them will get a phone call, so they both keep talking and they'll keep go away from the screen. Can you see that? Imagine really that the climax, no fight, they get their own phones, and so each of them talk on the phone and they go out of the screen, and the climax is disastrous because there's no fight there. Why? Because they got a phone. And finally we go back home, and here the last word is global warming. Imagine, friends, when you go back home, surprisingly, your the building where you live, it got transformed into a big globe. Can you see that? The building right now, the building, whatever home you live in, imagine it turned into a big globe and it's revolving, and you have to go into the house like you go into the globe. Okay, so imagine your globe, the house transformed into a globe now. Now here's the good news, friends. Whew. The good news is I told you this answer only once. I know this, friends. I know this for sure that every teacher watching this session, you already remembered every point. Let's check out. Okay, please don't okay, friends, don't have to write, just keep shouting your answers. I can't hear you, but I trust you. Please shout your answers as I ask you questions. First we'll revise the journey and then we'll revise the answer. Okay, the journey, first word is what? Parking lot. Shout your answers. Parking lot. From there, where did you go? Ticket counter. Very good. From there, where did you go? The entrance door. Fantastic. When you went in, what did you see there? Chairs. Please shout your answers, friends. Chairs. And when you sat, what did you see there? The empty screen. Agree? And what is the first thing you saw? Smoking ad. And then 4 characters you saw. Who are they? Hero. Shout your answers. Heroine, villain, and comedian. Fantastic. After that, what happened? Interval. What did you buy? Popcorn and Coke. Very good. Then what did you see? Climax. Finally, where did you go? Home. Friends, if you genuinely remembered all the 15 points in the journey now, if you shouted all the 15 points, if you remember them, type 50 in the chat box. Type 15 in the chat box, please. If you genuinely participated and you remember all the 15 as I mentioned now, please type 15 in the chat box. Brilliant. Very, very impressive, friends. It's not easy to do this activity when I can't see you people, but you've been doing fantastic job. Congratulations, you're participating very well. Now, my dear friends, let's see the magic. What are the disadvantages of overpopulation? Friends, I want you to shout again and answer me. Okay, or you can type your answers here. Okay, the parking lot. What do you remember? Parking lot. What do you remember? Jobs, isn't it? Brilliant, friends. Brilliant. Very good. Jobs. The ticket counter. What do you remember? Ticket counter. Okay, don't say samosa, it's food. Okay, it's food shortage, right? So ticket counter, food. Very good, friends. Nice. Now the entrance door. Entrance door, whom did you see there? What did you remember? Entrance door. Deforestation. Beautiful. Very good. Deforestation, entrance door, right? And when you go in, the chairs. What did you see in the chairs there? How can you forget that? Money, isn't it? Chairs filled with money. Good. And the empty screen, what did you saw growing? Okay, what is the empty screen used as? Land, isn't it? Very good, friends. Thank you for answering so promptly. So the empty screen, what did you see there? Land. Very good. The smoking ad, what did Mukesh give you? The smoking ad, what did he give you? Natural resources, gold, biscuits, and diamonds. Remember? So natural resources. Very good. And then the first one is character is hero. Hero, what do you remember? Hero, what do you remember? Pollution. Very good. Chimney on his head. Hero is pollution. Fantastic. The heroine, what do you remember, friends? Heroine, what is the word you remember? What did she splash on you? Water, isn't it? Very good. Heroine, water. And then we have the villain. Villain's head, what do you remember? Diseases, isn't it? Remember the coronavirus, right? So villain is diseases. Agree? Good. And after villain, we have the comedian. Comedian, what do you remember? Comedian, what do you remember? Fuel. Agree? He is the one who is filling fuel for you. Agree? So yeah, very good. Petrol, fuel. Good. And then interval, what do you remember? Interval, what do you remember? Power. Remember, power star took you from the interval. So interval is power. Good. Popcorn, what do you remember, friends? Popcorn, what do you remember? Crime. Agree? Yeah. Popcorn's fighting, so crime. Good. Coke. Coke, what do you remember? Coke tin, huge Coke tin. What do you remember? Traffic jams. Very, very impressive. Traffic jams. Good. And then we have the climax. Climax, what do you remember? There's no fight. What happened? Climax. Cell phone, isn't it? Good. Cell phone. And finally, friends, home. Home, what do you remember? Global warming. Friends, I want everyone to give a big round of applause for yourself Brilliant job done. It's not at all easy participating like this in a online session where I can't see you, but you did your best today. So please clap for yourself. And the beauty here, friends, these 15 words, this answer I just mentioned now, the overpopulation disadvantages, you must struggle to forget it. Do you know that? Seriously, you must really struggle so much if you want to forget it. It will stick to your mind for a very long time, because that's the power of creativity. And this is one example of how magical teachers use creativity to make the subjects interesting for them. Friends, if you enjoyed this activity, please type yes in the chat box, please. Good. So friends, thank you so much for your feedback, for your quick responses. Let's move now to the sixth strategy. We're done with 5 so far. Let's move now to the sixth strategy out of 7. Make note of it, friends. The sixth strategy is activate. Make note of it, friends. The sixth strategy of the magical teachers is called activate. All the magical teachers, friends, whenever they go to any class, online class or live class, doesn't matter, you know what they do? They activate their minds and bodies. They activate the students' minds and bodies, and they try to make the classroom as lively and as energetic as possible. Do you know this? I repeat, all magical teachers, they make sure that they activate themselves and they activate the students, whether it's online or live, doesn't matter. And they make the classroom, friends, as lively, as vibrant, as energetic as possible. Now think of this, friends. Today when we started this session at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, when we started this session, if I started like this, good evening, friends. My name is Satish. Today we will be learning 7 steps to be a passionate teacher. I'm sure half the way all of you would have left the meeting without attending the full session. Why? Because you got to activate your minds and bodies, friends. Activate the students' minds and bodies, and every session you take, be vibrant, activate yourself, and make the classroom as lively and as energetic as possible. That's exactly what the magical teachers do, because do you know that energy is contagious? Do you agree, friends? Type agree in the chat box. I'm sorry. Energy is contagious, friends. So please make sure you make the classroom as are raiders. Do you agree, friends? All the magical teachers, they have this common habit. If you don't have it, friends, please make it starting today. You know, they believe in a mantra. All the magical teachers, they believe in a mantra, and that mantra is 1 book a week. I repeat, it's 1 book a week. I don't mean a weekly magazine. You know, I mean, do you know, friends, there are books. There are books on this planet which can change your life. There are books which can build confidence. There are books which can improve your memory. There are books which can build your confidence. There are books which can build your character. There are books which can make you successful, transform your life, and revolutionize yourself. And you know that we call these books as self-help books. I'm assuming that all the teachers watching this, you already have the habit of reading books. Sorry. If you don't have the habit, friends, make it right from today. Today is an auspicious day. Happy Teachers Day, everyone. So let this Teachers Day be a new start for all of us, because we want to be the inspiration for the next generation. Make sure you make reading a habit. Also, I would strongly recommend, friends, you don't just build this habit, you also make sure you build this habit to your children and to your students. Trust me, teachers, this is one of the best gifts you can give your children and your students. Do you know that? If you can make reading a habit, that alone can make their life much better than what it is today. Friends, you know, 1 book a week. You need to understand, friends, you need to understand this. You need to tell the students the power of reading great books. Let me give an example. I'm going to ask you a question now. I want you to genuinely type your answers in the chat box, friends. Imagine there's a big forest, okay? There's a big forest, and this little boy, 10 years boy, little fellow, he was lost in the forest. 10 years boy, he searched to find a way out. He couldn't find the way out of the forest. So he had no option left, so he started living in the forest. He slowly became a Mowgli, he became a Tarzan, and he lived there for 70 long years. Imagine, at the age of 10, he falls in the forest, plus 70, his age became 80. He became a very old man. And at that age, after 70 long years of struggle in the forest, one day, you know what happened? That man, he found the way out of the forest. At the age of 80, he found a way to go out of the forest. You know what he did? He didn't say Yahoo and he didn't come out of the forest. He's a great man with a great heart and a great intention. You know what he did? Once he found the way out, he came in, he dug the paths, he put the arrows, he put the symbols, he put the signs, and then he went out. Answer everyone there. Why do you think he did that? Please type your answers in the chat box, please. Why do you think he did that? He found the way out, but he came back, he dug the paths, put the arrows, put the signals, put the symbols, and then he walked out. Friends, tell me, why do you think he did that? Right. Exactly right. Because he's a man, he's a kind-hearted man. He's got a great intention. He thought, my life is almost done. I'm 80 now. I may die tomorrow or day after. But if anyone from my next generation, if they fall in this forest, they shouldn't struggle like me. Agree, friends? So with that great intention, he put the arrow, signs, symbols, and paths, and then he went out. Now here's my question. Imagine for a second that you are lost in the same forest. Just imagine this. Imagine you are lost in the same forest. Now you have two options, friends. First option, you can say, why should I care to listen to someone? I'll find my own way out. So thinking so, you may spend another 70 years and you may or may not find the way out. Or option two, you'll use the symbols, signals, paths, and you'll go out of the forest in just 7 days. Which option will you choose, my friend? 70 years or 7 days? Please type your answers in the chat box, please. Will you say, why should I care to listen to someone? I'll find my own way out, and you may struggle for 70 years and may or may not find the way out? Or option two, you will take his guidance, and in 7 days you come out of the forest. Which one will you do, 7 days or 70 years? The answer is obvious, right? We just follow a 7 days pattern. Agree? That's exactly, friends, what a book is. Please understand this. Now, who writes a book, friends? Not everybody walking on the road writes a book, isn't it? No, people who writes a book, people who achieved something in life. For example, Anthony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, Patrick Rip, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Nick Vujicic, Robin Sharma, Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Kalam. I'm talking about some of the best writers on the planet. Let's take an example of Abdul Kalam, sir. You know what Abdul Kalam, sir, thought? He thought that he's a great man with a great heart and great intention. He thought to become Abdul Kalam, the world knows, it took me 70 long years. He struggled so much in life, agree? So what he thought, if anyone from my next generation, if they have to come into my path, they should not struggle like me. If they want to take my field, they shouldn't struggle like me. So with that great intention, he took a book and a pen and he wrote all the life lessons he learned for a lifetime in a book. Again, we have two options now. Option one, we can say, why should I care to read that book? I'll find my own way out to get successful and become great. You're thinking so, you may waste 70 years and may or may not become someone like Abdul Kalam. Or option two, you can take that book and in just 7 days, you can read and learn the life lessons of Abdul Kalam, sir, in just a week's time. What will you do, my friend? 70 years or 7 days? Type your answers again in the chat box. Am I making sense? That's what is a book, my friends. Imagine this, one book a week. Option two, isn't it? Obviously, option two, you're right. So one book a week, friends. You know what one book a week means? We have 52 weeks in a year. Let's say 2 weeks, we go for vacation. 50 weeks, 50 great books. You know what it means? You know the funny part? As per statistics, an average Indian reads only one book a year. So imagine this, if you can read 50 books a year, you have no comparison, my friends. Let me ask you this simple question here. Friends, my dream, okay? My dream is I want to be a world-class speaker. That's my dream, okay? So right now I'm not one yet, right? Let's say I'm not a world-class speaker yet. Let's say I'm work in progress. Friends, just think of this. If someone like me, who is just a work in progress speaker, if I come and speak to you for 90 minutes like this, and if this session makes some sense to you, Imagine if world-class people and come and sit next to you and they talk to you, will your life change? Yes or no, friends? Call Mahatma Gandhi, call Abdul Kalam, call Robin Sharma. They'll come and sit next to you every single week, and virtually they teach you the genius lessons in the form of their books. Do you know that? One book a week, friends, is a mantra of magical teachers. 50 books a year. You know what it means? 50 world-class people train you throughout the year. And believe me, your life will never be the same again, friends. Am I making sense? And that's what I want you to make it a habit starting today, friends. Also, please make sure if you are a parent, build this same habit in your children. Your child may not be able to read one book a week. Let him take 2 months time to finish one book. Doesn't matter, but build the habit. If you want to know some great books, friends, you may ask me what are the books to start reading with. If you want a list of some great books, all friends, just grab your phone right now. If you have your phone handy, just message me, friends. That's my WhatsApp number you see on the screen there. It's 903 000 1012. Just send me one message, books. Okay, I'll send you, friends, a list of some great books you can benefit from. I'm going to send you a list of books, and the books I'm going to send you, the list is among the top 50 books on the planet. So please make sure just send me the word books to me on my WhatsApp, and I'll send you the links after this session gets over. Right? So let's do a quick recap, friends, of what we did today. We learned 7 strategies, friends. Number 1, power meditation. Number 2, so power meditation just 1 minute before the class, 1 minute after the class. And believe me, it does magic in the minds of children. Number 2, please use practical aids. The kinesthetic learners are waiting for you in the class. Number 3, grasp like a magnet. 30 seconds is all it takes. Write on the board what you're going to teach the next day and then leave the class. Let them create brain impressions. Let them do the comparisons and let them increase their concentration. The 4th one is involve them in as many ways as possible, because when you involve, you actually learn. The 5th one is creativity. I hope you enjoyed the journey technique we learned today. I want you to try this journey technique in your subject, and please ping me on my WhatsApp as to how it worked. The next one is please activate your minds and bodies and make sure you make the classroom live and energetic. And last but not the least, remember that leaders are readers, so make reading a great habit. You want a list of some great books? I'll send you on my WhatsApp. Just send me books. I'll send the list to you. And that's how, friends, look at the slide, and that's how you become a magical teacher. Make sense? Fantastic. So, friends, I hope this little session added some value to you. If it did, I really thank Celso sir for bringing us together on a Teachers' Day auspicious occasion. Thank you so much, sir. And please follow these 7 strategies and become a magical teacher. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you.
Wow, it was really a terrific session. In fact, I myself was learning quite a lot of things as far as the magical teacher. Even when I recollected all my steps, because now being into this teaching field as far as finance, yes, that practical points which you've mentioned about the magical teacher was terrific. What I want now all the participants to do is on the chat box, put your frank comments. Did you really enjoy this session? You can share it on the comment box, on the chat box, you can put it. How did you feel about the session? And especially as a teacher, from tomorrow onwards, is your passion in teaching going to increase? Would you love teaching? In fact, I'll tell you, even I feel a lot of things that now today I can express myself. And fortunately, soon after this program, I'll be addressing another Teachers' Day program, which we are going to be having in Ponda. And I'm definitely going to put in some ideas from here into this creativity as well as making this magical teachers. So I must say a very big thank you to Satish. Of course, he has been our guest speaker. This is for the second time as far as magical teachers. We have even done a program for the magical mothers, means as parents, for the parents. So now actually I want you to just start sharing on the screen, means on your chat box. How did you find the session? Was it really motivational? Was it really worth it? And will you actually share this video with all your friends who missed it out today? Because it is there uploaded on our YouTube channel. And let me tell you, last year also, this magical teacher had the highest views. And now today's session, I'm 100% sure if you forward it to all your colleagues and all those who have missed out today's session, it will definitely make a big difference. And I'm 100% sure the next time you have some free time, you'll definitely like to watch this full session once again. correct or wrong. You can just tell me, as far as the chat box is concerned, you can let me know whether you really enjoyed it. And I would request Satish also, you can see the comments which are coming. Everybody is appreciating, everybody has felt motivated being a teacher, and you have really ignited the passion in all of us. So thank you once again. And on behalf of NAVE MARG Foundation, we are very, very happy to connect you along with all our clients, as well as especially the teachers. And these are the ones who are actually going to create and make a difference to the world. So on behalf of NAVE MARG Foundation, thank you once again, and a very, very big happy Teachers Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, friends. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. All the best, friends. Thank you for your genuine feedback. Please be in touch with me on my WhatsApp at 903 0001012. Right? I'm looking forward to be in touch and doing more sessions with Celso, sir. Thank you, sir. All the best, my dear teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.